Hey y'all, I'm Elisa, the Scrappy Wife behind ScrappyWife.com, and today I'm working in my memory planner for the week of September 26th through October the 2nd. I can't believe we are up through October. Craziness. I have a whole stack of photos, and this week I'm going to try to do a black and white spread. So I pulled out some black and white papers that I had from my stash that I thought would be great for this spread. And then I also put out some sticker books actually. So I have the Black Quote sticker book from Amber Plans Her Day, and then two Happy Planner sticker books that are from a former Be Happy box that are all in black and white. And I thought those would work well also. So I am gonna work with what I got here. So let's just see what comes out. I will try to link things down below. Like I said, these are just kind of from my stash. So I'm not sure that these will be helpful links to find, but I'll do my best. All right, I will put you guys on fast forward. Let's go. All right, so I will start off by matting my photos onto some black and white paper. I will be completely honest, I've been using a ton of color this week, and this black and white spread kind of felt like a cleanse in some ways, like just really limiting yourself. It can really help creativity. I feel like it just felt like less decisions that had to be made. It was easy to see what went together. Of course, I always print my photos in color. I do print my photos at home. I have an Epson PictureMate PM400. I will link it down below. I've had it for years. It works fantastic. I use an app called Print to Size to put 4 pictures for every 4x6 photo that I print out, if that makes sense, so that I can cut them down to 2x3 size and use them. I like printing at home on demand. It helps me keep up with my memory keeping as opposed to having to send out for photos or anything like that. So I'm a big fan. My photos are in color, but everything else is in black and white, and that just makes it very easy to decide what goes where. And I'm able to really have all of those photos pop a lot because there were some gorgeous ones, including one of a sunset that happened at my daughter's track meet that was absolutely breathtaking. So it was nice to be able to highlight the photos in that way. A lot of the paper that I'm using is actually from the Paper Person shop. I used to receive a subscription from the Paper Person shop. I still love her stuff. I just had too many subscriptions, so I ended up stopping that one. She tends to have a little bit more quirky kind of cutting edge pieces, and so this is actually from a black and white kit that she had. I love the weekdays kind of going through. It's like the blur of the week, and I just decided to tear it because I always love those organic lines, and of course I'm going to have a lot of rectangles on the page from the pictures, so we'll use these lines to soften it up ever so slightly. And I like this piece kind of going through the middle. I always love trying to come up with a way to connect my two sides of a memory planning spread. I like to think of the week as a full week in and of itself, not just a bunch of separate days with separate things that happen. And something about using paper to connect the two sides makes a lot of sense to me. So all you have to do is line your pages up right next to each other, put plenty of adhesive down. You can see, then I just cut them apart. I'll use my We Are Memory Keepers disc punch to repunch those holes. And now I have that element that kind of goes between the two pages. I also like this because in my memory planning spreads, I tend to use, or my memory planners, I tend to use expander discs just because my memory planners get super thick. And so sometimes the pages feel really far apart, just actually physically, just because of how big the discs are. And so having an element that kind of goes across the two pages helps bring it back together. And you guys, I tried really hard. I was going to have wonky pictures, meaning none of my pictures were going to be straight. I thought, oh, this will be really cute, having them all kind of tilted in different directions. And I like it, but here it goes. I can't take it. We're going to start straightening up. See? I'm like, oh, but look how good it looks when they're all straight. So they end up all straight. And you know what? I like it. If you like them straight, then keep them straight. If you like them wonky, put them wonky. Do what makes you happy. I like them straight just because I know I'm adding journaling lines, and so it's just easier for me to add lines when everything else is straight. When I do the wonky pictures, it can end up with kind of some funky lines here and there, and so I like doing it this way. So getting all of those down with adhesive, And now I'm ready to do just a little bit of decorating. I'm not going to do a whole lot. I know that there are some florals and there are some black and white boxes that I can use on this spread. I have been enjoying putting extra boxes on my memory planning spread. So generally I add my own journaling lines, which you'll see in just a little bit. But when you put in these extra boxes, it kind of allows you to highlight a specific memory, to kind of put a side note. I just feel like it doesn't have to stay within the story of what I'm writing in the journaling lines, if that makes sense. So these tend to be kind of extra little tidbits here and there. So I'm going to add a few boxes. I always try to make sure it's pretty balanced. So when I add them on the right, I like to add them on the left as well. And it's just a fun way to add some extra writing room. I haven't looked at these books in a while, so I'm trying to get my bearing on what is where. I love this Keep Growing. I'm going to put it over here with the picture of my daughter at track. Beautiful. And then now I'm just looking for some decorative pieces. I really like the black and white flowers that are in here, the line drawings. I think they're perfect to add a little extra something, a little softening at some different spots on this page. So I'll be using several of those to fill in some of the awkward spots. Whenever I have kind of some weird white trapped space or trapped white space, I do like to add something to fill that in. You guys know I'm not a big fan of empty space in my planner spreads, and especially in my memory planning spreads. So I do add these in every now and then. And anytime you can put a floral or something to kind of soften the corners, I also think that that looks really nice. So getting those boxes, that'll be the end of the boxes. I still need a few stickers, some ones that bring in a little bit more heavy black, because you can see I have a black heavy box on the right side. So let's add one over here on the left. This one says wild and has those florals in it. And then I find some circles and things like that. It's fun to do these spreads, especially when you are using stickers, because it goes so much faster than paper pieces. Paper pieces are awesome because you can move them around. You can experiment a little bit easier than when you have stickers, which you're sticking down, and it's not always easy to pick those up and move them other places. So it's cool to change it up. Stickers tend to go faster for me than when I use my ephemera or my paper pieces. The last spot I need to fill in is the upper left-hand side. I was trying to see if I could find words or something that might work, like a quote, but that's not a really big space. So what I'm gonna end up going with is just another floral up there in the corner just to fill in that space. And then, I mean, you guys look how quickly this one came together. And I still think, even though it's black and white, it might feel a little boring compared to what I normally do with all of the color, but I think it's pretty effective. So I will pull out my T ruler. This is how I like to add lines. I don't usually measure them out. I just eyeball the spacing and do my best. So they're not always even. That doesn't bother me. It would bother me if I didn't have straight lines. If they were like, if I wasn't writing in a straight line, that would bother me, which is why I tend to add my own journaling lines. So I'll put that on there and then take a little time to fill in the journaling. I just use a regular pen. This is, you know, I don't know, just a standard black pen that I have in my stash. And then I'm going to use a thicker marker for some of the boxes just to emphasize it a little bit more. And that's going to be it for this memory planning spread. Let me know in the comments below, do you ever like to do kind of a cleansing spread, if you will, something that is different from your norm? Either maybe you don't like color and you're going to try color, or you do like color like me and you try a black and white spread. Let me know if that's something that you do. This one felt good. It felt kind of cathartic to change it up and to do something a little bit different. I will link supplies down below. I'll probably link companies like the Paper Person Shop and the Happy Planner, so you can check out some of the supplies that they have available. I want to give a huge shout out to all of my patrons. Thank you very much. We're having a great time over on Patreon. There's all kinds of extra perks and things going on and extra goodies. And so there's a tier for everyone. So I highly encourage you to check out the link to my Patreon in the comment box below and see if there's a tier that might work for you. All right. I hope that you all have an absolutely fabulous day. And as always, keep it creative.